Duke starts the 2024-2025 basketball season with a massive win over Maine. It sets up what's going to be an unbelievable year of Duke basketball.
You are Locked On Blue Devils, your daily podcast on the Duke Blue Devils. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hello, everybody, and welcome into another episode of the Locked On Blue Devils podcast. My name is JJ Jackson. It's so great to have you here with us on Tuesday, November 5th, 2024. Locked On Blue Devils is your one-stop shop where we discuss everything going on in the life of Duke athletics, talking a lot about Duke men's basketball, who picks up quite a win as they defeat Maine 96-62 for their first win of the season. We'll break it all down on today's show. If you have not done so already, please be sure to follow and subscribe to Locked On Blue Devils for free wherever it is that you get your podcasts. Leave this podcast a 5-star rating and written review. Love all the support that we get from Locked On Blue Devils, and you're one of the big reasons this show continues to climb our everydayers out there. Also, watch the show each and every day on YouTube. Comment down below if you're an everydayer. I want to give you a shout out at some point. So make sure that you let us know that you're a part of this community. Like the video, share it with your friends, and subscribe to our YouTube channel as we continue to grow this massive Locked On Blue Devils audience. Follow us on X at LO_Blue Devils, and I'm there as well at _JJ_Jackson_. He's back with us for the second straight day. We've got Jordan Mann here with us to break down the big win for Duke basketball as they knock off Maine for the first win of the season. And Jordan, I walked away incredibly impressed by what we saw from the Duke basketball squad. We were impressed in the exhibitions. They found a way to cover such a massive spread at 31.5. I mean, it's just really, really impressive what we saw from Duke last night.
Yeah, look, like I said yesterday's show, I predicted Duke to win in the high 90s and Maine to score in the low 60s. Duke won 96-62 and covered the 30-point spread, 31.5 if you had it. Yeah, it was just this offense, man, is crazy how quick they can turn it on. We saw it against Arizona State in the exhibition where Duke kind of struggled, was sluggish in the first half. I forgot what the halftime score was, like 34-21 or something. And they scored 66 points in the second half. And you kind of see the similar with Duke against Maine, where Duke was doing okay in the first half, but not as crispy as you'd like it. And then second half, they just blow the doors open. I think they're up like in the teens, like 14 points at halftime, and then win by 34 points. It's just that offense is a juggernaut.
And how quickly the offense can score. I mean, Duke jumps out to a 23-9 lead at one point. There's that 14-point margin from the Duke basketball team. It's crazy how quickly they're able to score this season, getting the efficient looks, finding everybody on the roster, finding ways to contribute to this team. I think the sky's the limit for the Duke basketball team because of the number of different scores that they've got, because of the pace in which they're able to play. And then in these big runs, they're also locking down defensively when they need to. And I think that's really impressive as well. To continue to create that separation is not letting the other team go shot for shot, toe for toe with you. We get it. It's Maine. It's going to be Army on Friday. The big test is Kentucky. But still, like, you got to be really impressed with what you're seeing from Duke.
Yeah, the comment section, the anti-Duke fans will be like, well, it's Maine. Well, guess what? You can only play who's on your schedule. And I don't know if they know this, JJ, but Duke's best players from Maine. What a small world, and what a coincidence. Duke played Maine the first game of the season. But Cooper Flagg is, dude, he is unbelievable. I know we'll dive probably into that more, but the fact that the world got to see just a little bit of him, like, he doesn't have to score the ball to make an impact. I mean, 7 rebounds, 5 assists, 3 steals. He's unbelievable. And he scored 18 points, but, like, even with him not scoring early on, JJ, it was the Kon Knueppel show, and then you saw other guys step up. I mean, Sion James had double figures off the bench. Like, if you eliminate one guy for Duke, JJ, then you have to think about the other 4 on the floor that could possibly go on a hot streak.
Deservedly so. When we look at college basketball last night, Gonzaga is, I think, everybody's a big story. Top 10 game against Baylor. You caught it on SportsCenter this morning, right? Because you went to bed.
I caught it on Twitter. I opened up Twitter this morning at like 6 a.m. and I was like, "Holy crap!" I knew it was I knew it was bad when Davidson Hubbard had a minute of playing time for Baylor. Shout out Davidson. That's not a jab. He played at Hampton-Sydney last year. D3 All-American now at Baylor as a walk-on. So it was cool that he got a minute in a top 10 matchup. But I did not think in a million years that I was going to wake up to BJ Edgecombe posterizing Mark Few's son in a 50-point loss. I mean, what a wild night of college basketball.
Yeah, just a massive, massive win for Gonzaga. They go 103-63 or 101-63, excuse me, is the final score in that one. But we're talking about, okay, it's just Maine and the opponent that you've got on your schedule. We could look just down the road in Chapel Hill, and with 6-7 minutes left in a basketball game against Elon, Carolina's tied 71. Yeah. You go across the rest of the ACC, and for the first game of the season, so many teams are still trying to get into form, and it's, very competitive games.
Yeah, I mean, Syracuse was trailing at one point. I don't even know if they won or lost, but they played like Lemoyne. I don't even know who that is.
They won 4, yeah.
I don't know who that is.
I've never heard of that school, yeah.
And then the Big East every Big East school was in a fight for their life last night. And then Texas A&M lost on the road against UCF. And not for the life of me, I don't know why the number 13 team in the country is playing their first game of the season on the road. That is just terrible scheduling to be the number 13 team in the country. It's like, you know what? We're going to go on the road and play a really good, a very solid team. But, yeah, dude, I love the first day of college basketball because there's so many overreactions. I think Baylor will be fine. They lost by 40. They're talented enough to bounce back. But I do love the overreactions that everybody's going to have for all their teams. That like, hey, we're really good. Hey, we're really bad. And then, when it comes in December, January, we're going to see different teams.
We're talking about a Duke win. That's what we love. We're overreacting to a season-opening win for the Blue Devils. They win by 34 points. Let's continue to break it all down. We'll look at the box score and more after we take our first time out here on today's show. Locked On Blue Devils here today is brought to you by our friends over at Roy. Hey, Duke fans, it's time to recognize the Roy Player of the Week. So far this season, we've pooled over $20,000 to support players on Roy. Micro deposits lead to massive change. With the Roy app, you can direct your support to the athletes you love, ensuring that all funds go to the specific player you choose. Unlike collectives, you know exactly where your support is going, and you even receive exclusive content like personal videos and updates after the season. The best part, it's risk-free. If the athlete transfers or doesn't deliver the content, you get your money back. This week, I'm going to go support Peyton Jones, the Duke football running back. We pitched in $100 with Locked On, and I'd love for you to join me. Even $10 makes a difference. Let's show Peyton Jones the love and keep him connected to our school. Remember, pay today, celebrate tomorrow. Your support sets up your team for success. Plus, don't miss out on Roy's exciting giveaway this month, where you can win 2 tickets to a game. Just download Roy, create an account, and enter referral code Locked On, and you're all set. Download Roy now. Join the NIL game with no subscriptions and no fees. Roy, support the players, change the game. A proud sponsor of Locked On Blue Devils. The show today is also brought to you by our friends over at FanDuel. Get ready to tackle all of the NFL action with FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. Right now, new customers can bet $5 and get $150 in bonus bets if you win. The FanDuel Sportsbook app gives you everything you need to place live bets on the NFL all in one place. So when you get the hunch in the middle of a game, and you can check out the latest stats, view live play-by-play, and so much more on the same page where you place your bets. Just visit FanDuel.com to join today. You'll get started with $150 in bonus bets if you win your first $5 bet. That's FanDuel.com. Never waste a hunch and make every moment more with FanDuel, an official sportsbook partner of the NFL and a proud sponsor of Locked On Blue Devils. All right, we're getting back to today's episode of Locked On Blue Devils. JJ Jackson, joined by my pal Jordan Mann of the Big J and Little J Show. Duke wins 96-62 over Maine, and it's the freshman leading the way for Duke. I think it's this freshman duo that could lead the way a lot throughout the course of the season. Cooper Flagg has 18 in his debut. Kon Knueppel has 22. They combined for 40 of Duke's 96 points. I don't know that we're going to find many freshman duos better than that in the entire country, man.
Yeah, and dude, I love Kon Knueppel. Everybody loves Cooper Flagg. I love Kon Knueppel as much as everybody loves Cooper Flagg, and that's saying something because the guy, I just love the way he plays the game. He's gritty, first one in, last one out. But no, in all seriousness, like the guy scores in abundance of ways. Like you see what he can do shooting the ball. He had a 4-point play. He gets to the cup, and he's always poised, and he's never sped up, JJ. He finishes around the rim. He shoots a contested three. His vision of passing the ball, he's unselfish. Like, he does everything so good offensively. And then Cooper Flagg. He could have had 0 points, and you would have felt that he had 20. Like, the way that he played, 7 rebounds, 5 assists, like I said, 3 steals. And I tweeted it out on my Twitter at JMan's Takes that on Synergy, Maine was 1 for 8 shooting against Cooper Flagg. So, like, those don't show up in the stat sheet, but when you're trying to shoot against Cooper Flagg, you're only shooting about 12%. So Good luck.
Yeah, he also drew 8 fouls. So Cooper Flagg, you look at the box score here, he goes 6 for 6 from the free throw line, something you pointed out in the lead up to the season, right? Knock down those free throws, Cooper. When you get to the line, knock them down. But he drew 8 fouls. I mean, he's aggressive on that end of the floor. Teams feel like, well, we got to foul this guy. He's so good otherwise. Yeah, he didn't knock down his 3-point shots, 0 for 4. 2 of them kind of rimmed out, and he got robbed on a couple of those looks. But all in all, just an impressive game from him, and how aggressive Flagg was. That was so awesome to see.
Yeah, dude, his aggressiveness and his assertiveness and knowing to pick his spots. Like, Duke really carved up Maine and basically ISOs on the block with Cooper Flagg. There's a lot of times Cooper Flagg posted up, and Maine was going to live with him going one-on-one. And you know what? Duke did too, because he scored every time. And so Cooper Flagg just he's under control. If they throw a trap at him, he has the vision to throw a skip pass for a 3 like he did to Sion James. Like I said, 5 assists is not a fluke. He had 6 in Duke's first exhibition game. Like, the guy is just a complete ball player. And I think a lot of people thought he'd come into Duke and just be the scorer that's a highlight guy. He just plays the game of ball the right way and impacts winning in every aspect.
I love it. What a debut for Cooper Flagg. Officially, he also had the 2 poster dunks that so many people are going to be seeing throughout the course of the season. Pretty exciting for non-Duke fans to see that ESPN puts out a video of him making free throws for his first points in a Duke. You know, they're not helping us out, Jordan.
No.
ESPN's not helping us Duke fans out.
We are not pushing that propaganda. That is the big man upstairs of ESPN, that the mothership is like, hey, look at these free throws. And you would have thought it was the team manager at the end of a game now shooting free throws going viral, and it's Cooper Flagg. Post the dunk. Don't post free throws. People already hate us because we're Duke. Now they're going to hate us because of free throws.
Yeah, there's a trivia answer for you. How did Cooper Flagg score his first points for Duke? At the free throw line. Able to knock it down. Kon Knueppel had 22. He scored the first 2 points of the season for Duke. Left-handed layup. I mean, we talked about the 3-point shooting a lot. He knocks down 3 of them from the outside, but the number of looks he was able to get right at the rim. We didn't see any poster dunks or anything like that, but I thought he had a lot of really tough drives. Like, really impressed with how he used his bigger body, his larger frame from that guard spot, and made things happen.
Yeah, like I said, he slow as smooth as fast with Kon Knueppel, and he shows it. Like, once he gets the defender on his hip, they're never getting back in front of him. He just knows how to control that space and get to the right angle to the rim, because he's not going to jump out of the gym. I know he had that poster dunk, but like, he's not going to jump out of the gym. So what he's going to do is play fundamental basketball and make high percentage shots, and that's what he does. And a guy I also want to highlight real quick, JJ, Malik Brown. You see 2 points, but 4 offensive rebounds. He had 7 rebounds, 4 offensive, and then he had a couple assists that were dimes on backdoor cuts. Like,
4
the guy
assists.
the guy, 4 assists. The guy just sees the floor so well, and he's going to have those 2-point, 5-point games, but he's going to have those 4 offensive rebounds, those 4 assists, those steals or 2 steals. Like, he fills up the stat sheet without having to score the basketball.
Impressive stuff, what we saw from Malik Brown in his Duke debut. I was impressed with Sion James and Mason Gillis as well. Those transfers, the experience that they had, combined to knock down 3 3-pointers for the Duke basketball team. They combined for 21 total points. They were 2 of 6 Duke players that finished double figures in scoring. And Duke as a team, it wasn't the 50% 3-point barrage for the Duke basketball team. And compared to the exhibition games, they kind of slowed down the number of three-point attempts that they were taking in this one, Jordan, and still found a way to win by 34.
Yeah, I mean,
11 of 29 is the three-point percentage.
Yeah, 29 threes, JJ. I mean, that's still a good amount of threes, but I looked it up earlier today. I was like, where does that rank in the country? It's not even in the top 25 because teams are just pulling. Illinois had 41 threes last night. Like, what the hell are we doing over here? It's like the Boston Celtics. But I think that's really what Duke's kind of trying to be, honestly, in all seriousness, is the Boston Celtics at some extent. And I know that, like, I saw people upset that Duke was kind of living by the three too much, so that let Maine get back in the game. But when those hit, like, that's why Duke won by 34, because it was just punch after punch against a team that was trying to battle with Duke, and Duke just overpowered them by hitting dagger three after dagger three. And that's something that Duke wanted to attack in the portal with the Mason Gillis, Sion James, and who you got with Kon Knueppel in this recruiting class.
Big-time performance from Duke, big-time win as they knock off Maine 96-62. I was also kind of intrigued, we all were, what the rotation would look like, how these minutes would be distributed. We'll continue to learn more and more about this Duke basketball team as the season goes on. Let's continue that portion of the conversation after one more timeout here on today's show. Locked On Blue Devils here today is brought to you by our friends over at ZBiotics. ZBiotics Pre Alcohol probiotic drink is the world's first genetically engineered probiotic. It was invented by PhD scientists to tackle rough mornings after drinking. Here's how it works. When you drink, alcohol gets converted into a toxic byproduct in the gut. It's this byproduct, not dehydration, that's to blame for your rough next day. Pre-alcohol produces an enzyme to break down this byproduct. Just remember to make ZBiotics your first drink of the night. Drink responsibly, and you will absolutely feel your best tomorrow. Go to zbiotics.com/lockedoncollege to learn more and get 15% off your first order when you use Locked On College at checkout. ZBiotics is backed with a 100% money-back guarantee, so if you're unsatisfied for any reason, they'll refund your money, no questions asked. Remember to head to zbiotics.com/lockedoncollege and use the code LockedOnCollege at checkout for 15% off. ZBiotics is a proud sponsor of Locked On Blue Devils. All right, back on the program here, JJ Jackson alongside Jordan Mann from the Big J and Little J show. Kon Knueppel, Cooper Flagg, amazing in their debuts for Duke basketball. They led the way for the Blue Devils. Kon had 29 minutes on the floor. Cooper Flagg had 27. They're the two leading scorers. Their stats sheets were the most stuffed, given the opportunity to play a lot throughout the course of the game. And I think that's going to be the story this season. Like, I think those are going to be the two primary guys for the Duke basketball team.
Yeah, I agree. I think that it's not a coincidence that both of those guys led the team in minutes. I know Caleb Foster and Tyrese Proctor are the two returners on the team, but like, that's kind of when you get a Sion James to come in, like Foster, he turned it on late, but he struggled there early and kind of early in the second half too. I know Shire was upset with him on the execution at the play before halftime where Cooper Flagg dunked it and it didn't count because he wanted Foster to go at 10 seconds on the shot clock, not the game clock. So it resulted in a shot clock violation. My point being is, if you have to sit Foster because he's not doing what you want, you have Sion James to take on those minutes. And Sion James, again, 11 points and 20 minutes of playing time, 4 of 6 from the field, where you have a Kon Knueppel and Cooper Flagg, 31 and 30 minutes. Like, those guys are one of one, respectively, on what they can do for Duke. And basically, if anybody else can step up when those two guys are hot, then it takes Duke to a whole nother level.
Yeah, you're in a really good spot if those two guys are doing big things. Caleb Foster, Tyrese Proctor, the experienced guys on the Duke basketball team. Again, the only two players that are returning from last year's squad. Foster had 23 minutes on the floor in last night's contest, and Tyrese Proctor had 26 minutes in the competition. I messed up those figures earlier for Knueppel and Flagg. 30 minutes for Cooper Flagg and 31 for Kon Knueppel. But I was impressed with how much Foster and Proctor were out there. I think that number could go up a little bit, but I think it also showed us that maybe we don't need those guys playing so much because, to your point, the experienced guards that Duke has, reason enough to feel good about what they're doing.
Yeah, I thought Shire's rotation was very solid too. And I'm not just saying that because Duke won by 34. Like I liked Malik Brown coming in early for Common Malawatch to get a breather, though it was like 3.5 minutes into the game before the under 16. Then I liked how he subbed Foster in early and got Sion James in early. Like I thought his rotation I thought was really good in game one. And I'm curious to see how it goes. Obviously, when Duke plays Kentucky, but like I have no complaints over that. And then the plus minus, JJ, it's one of my favorite stats. I know it can be slighted if you want to think it, but like it's not a fluke that Kon Knueppel led the team in plus minus with 29. Cooper Flagg second on the team with 20 plus 27. And then, like I said, Malik Brown, 2 points, but plus 25 on the floor. That is not a fluke. The dude
That's
just
crazy.
Yeah, he just balls, man. He plays the game in the right way. He really does.
Really big win for the Duke basketball team. Now they get set for Army coming up on Friday before the big game next week against Kentucky. 1 week from today, the Champions Classic in Atlanta. That's going to be a doozy. Anything in particular that you want to see out of this game coming up against Army, though?
Honestly, not really off the top of my head. Maybe Tyrese Proctor to be more assertive. I don't think it's on Tyrese Proctor. I think the game plan was more so Caleb Foster to be the point guard and then Tyrese kind of be the two guard. Tyrese hit 3 threes. One was a 3-point play, and all 3 of those shots were catch and shoots. And last year he shot 40% or higher on catch and shoots on threes, whereas he shot 35% from 3 in general. So clearly that's a strength of his to catch and shoot. But I'd like to see him get more assertive. 0 assists against Maine. But again, he didn't really have the ball in his hands that much, though he played 26 minutes. So maybe I could see him more run some point, him and Caleb Foster switch a little bit more. But, I mean, that's also me grasping at straws, JJ, in a 34-point win where we scored 96 points.
No kidding. That I would go to Common Malawatch in that regard because what he was able to do in last night's game, I want to see if there's more of a focal point of him on the offensive end of the floor. He goes 3 for 3 in the game against Maine. He scored 4 of Duke's first 6 points in the basketball game. In 18 minutes, he blocked 3 shots. I mean, it's crazy how active he is on the defensive end of the floor. But he's so big, man. And when Duke's not knocking down some of those shots from the outside, as John Shire was mic'd up in practice leading up to the season and preseason, throw him the ball, lob it up to him, let him go make a play. He's that big.
Yeah, there was a couple of things. I did a film breakdown of the game last night. It's on my YouTube channel at jman_. But there was a couple of missed lob opportunities too, Malawatch by the guys. But what happened was it led to open threes. There was one where Flagg threw it to Sion James. I think Malawatch was open for a lob, but he decided to throw the skip, which is perfectly fine. But my thing with Common Malawatch is just to be more consistent on the defensive end. He did have 3 blocks, but Maine's center, I think, had 11 points, and he's about 6'7", and couldn't – I don't know if he can dunk, JJ. He plays so far below the rim, but he scored on Malawatch, and obviously he's going to have better competition in the ACC. But I've been on this show, and I've said it numerous times, there's a learning curve for Malawatch. Like, he's very talented, and I think he'll be a better pro than a college player, but I think we're going to see a way different Malawatch in January than we do right now, and that should excite Duke fans that he progresses and reaches his potential by March. This team is hitting another level.
Yeah, it excites me already. I'm really excited thinking about that and how much better this guy could get. Impressive win for the Duke basketball team. Plenty more coverage coming your way throughout the rest of the week here on Locked On Blue Devils specifically. And Jordan, I know you have a lot of good stuff for people to go check out as well. Give us a rundown of everything you've got in your world.
Yeah, follow me on Twitter at JMan's Takes. If you come from the show, tweet at me. I'll follow you back so I can show love because JJ always has me on once a week at least. So it's the least I can do. I love interacting with your guys, your fan base. And, yeah, just JMan's Takes. I posted the film breakdown that I did on YouTube. Just recorded an episode of the Big J Little J Show for Duke football. We are recording basketball this week, tomorrow. So that should be out by the end of the week. We'll recap Maine, but also give our season preview, even though we've already played a game, because why not, JJ? It's a free country. So
yes.
So we got some things coming, man. We got some things coming, and Duke basketball season's here. So I'm ready to run through a wall.
Well, thanks for stopping by once again here, Jordan, today. Always great to see you. We'll do it again soon, okay?
Sounds good, brother.
All right, that's J-Man joining us here on the program. Back-to-back days of Jordan Mann. How blessed are we here with Locked On Blue Devils? That's going to do it for today's show. more content coming your way. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, subscribe to the podcast feed, and so much more. As always, go Duke. I'll talk to you tomorrow. My name is JJ Jackson. Thank you and good day.